Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What's happening in Egypt, like what happened in Tunisia before, represent a new hope and a new wave. That really the people are not completely dead. And no matter how much the oppression is and how long it might stay, there is always a breaking point when the reserve of patience that the masses have will come to an end, and then the people will find themselves obligated to take their own destiny in their own hand. To see this happening in Egypt is really amazing, because Egyptians have thousands of years of history of respect of a central government. Nonetheless, this is why the Egyptian people can take too much, but when it reaches a certain point, no one can predict how it will be expressed in a massive and comprehensive way. And this is what we are seeing. There is just a call from a person who is not a charismatic leader, just a regular Egyptian person, suggesting to people to go out in the street and demonstrate and try to demand a change in the Egyptian life and in the Egyptian system. And as reported, 90,000 people responded to his email, and actually there were hundreds of thousands of people who went out in downtown Cairo, in Alexandria, in Ismailia, and in other provinces and cities of Egypt. And their demand is one thing, that really the current system ought to come to an end and to change. This is not surprising, as Egypt has been living under emergency law for close to 30 years. No emergency can last for 30 years. And as the whole world has great question marks about the last elections, which really ended up by a parliament that's completely monolithically composed of the ruling party. So Egyptians found that even the small channels that they used to have to express opposition are completely shut off. Yes, there is freedom of press, but no matter what you write, it doesn't count. And even if you go to court and you win the case, there is no way that this ruling will be implemented on the ground. So when you put the people in a position like that, you should expect nothing but explosion. Now that this is happening, we have several concerns. Number one, how the government is going to deal with it. I think it will not be smart at all to deal with it through crushing force, because even if we crush it now, we are sure that we are postponing the explosion to have a worse one. I personally, being a person who lived in Egypt through a similar period of change, hope that it does not solve itself by having a military coup, because it will be like starting square one again by a dictatorship. What I hope is that the Egyptian current leadership, current government, will put the benefit of the country ahead of the benefit of individuals or groups, and organize a convincing step-by-step change to end up by new elections, a legitimate parliament, a real democracy where all people feel that they have a say in the decisions that affect their very, very direct and own lives. Can this happen? it cannot be left to the benevolence of the leader, but definitely an organized but peaceful and legal pressure of the people should be sustained until this comes to fruition.